Hello! I'm making this video to offer you a super comprehensive guide especially designed for English speakers. When I was preparing for my trip to Uzbekistan, I noticed a severe lack of practical information available in English. I wish I had found such a guide to avoid some pitfalls and discover useful tips. That's why I'm sharing everything I learned to help you plan your trip more easily and stress-free. In this video, you will find all the essential information, tips and recommendations that I missed to make your adventure in Uzbekistan as smooth and enjoyable as possible. Welcome to Uzbekistan, one of the most affordable countries in the world. But don't be fooled, it has no shortage of modern infrastructure. Highways, metro, high-speed train, this country has nothing to envy in terms of transport and development. But before diving into all of that, let me give you some context to help you better understand what makes Uzbekistan so unique. Uzbekistan has a rich and complex history, marked by numerous conquests. In the 4th century BC, the region was conquered by Alexander the Great after the fall of the Achaemenid Empire. From the 6th to the 7th century, it was under the control of the Sassanid Persian before being invaded by the Arabs in the 8th century, who introduced Islam. In the 13th century, the Mongol under Genghis Khan took control, and in the 14th century, Tamerlan or Timur in local, established a powerful empire with Samarkand as its capital. Later, the region fell under Russian control at the end of the 19th century, in 1876 exactly, and was part of the Soviet Union from 1924 until its independence in 1991. Since then, Uzbekistan has consolidated its national identity while developing its economy. Uzbekistan is located in Central Asia, landlocked between Kazakhstan to the north and west, Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan to the east, and Afghanistan and Turkmenistan to the south. Uzebekistan's subsoil is rich in natural resources, including natural gas, oil, gold and uranium, making it a geologically important region for its energy and mining reserves, which partially explains the relatively low cost of living in the country. Uzbekistan remained a relatively closed country to tourism for a long time, especially during the Soviet period from 1924 to 1991 and the first decades following its independence. Under the regime of Islam Karimov, president from 1991 until his death in 2016, the country remained politically isolated, with strict control over international exchanges, media and movement. For example, the internet use and infrastructure only began to democratize after the end of Karimov's reign. Tourism, although possible, was limited by complex administrative procedures, like obtaining a visa, for example, underdeveloped infrastructure and a suspicion of foreign influences. The rise of Shavkat Mirziyoyev to power in 2016 marked a turning point for Uzbekistan, including in the tourism sector. Mirziyoyev launched a series of reforms aimed at modernizing and liberalizing the country, opening the doors to foreign visitors and facilitating the development of the tourism sector. For instance, in 2019, Uzbekistan abolished visa requirements for citizens of over 85 countries, making the country much more accessible to travelers. An electronic visa system was also introduced, making the process easier for tourists. Uzbekistan is a treasure trove for those interested in history and culture, especially due to its central role in the Silk Road. Cities like Samarkand, Bukhara and Khiva offer remarkable historical sites, grand architectural monuments, madrasas, mausoleums and traditional bazaars. Culture lovers can explore the remnants of the Timurid and Mughal empires, as well as Persian and Arab influences. Uzbekistan is home to several UNESCO World Heritage Sites, including the historical centers of Samarkand, Bukhara, and Khiva. These places attract visitors eager to see impressive architecture and significant historical sites. In addition to its cultural attractions, Uzbekistan offers diverse landscape, from the Tian Shan and Ali Mountain to the deserts of Kizilkum and Karakum. Adventure seekers can explore this less visited area for hiking, climbing, and outdoor activities. The country also offers opportunities for desert excursion and outdoor adventure tourism. Skiing in Uzbekistan is primarily concentrated in the Tian Shan and Ali Mountain, with resorts like Beldersey offering moderate slopes and a spectacular scenery. The sector is still developing, but it already attracts winter sports enthusiasts seeking unique experiences in Central Asia. If you love maximalist aesthetics or are seeking color therapy, you'll adore Uzbekistan with its colorful and vibrant architecture. For food lovers, Uzbekistan is a real treat. Enjoy traditional dishes like pilav, locally called plov, lamb skewers, shashlik in local, and delicious tandoor baked bread at still very affordable prices. And if all these reasons haven't convinced you, just know that visiting Uzbekistan now is a rare opportunity to see a hidden gem before the rest of the world catches on. The best time to visit Uzbekistan is in spring, from April to June, and autumn, from September to October. During these seasons, the weather is pleasant with moderate temperatures and little rain, making it ideal for exploring the country's historic cities and varied landscapes. In summer, temperatures can be very high, especially in desert regions, while in winter, the cold can make some area less accessible. However, for skiing in Uzbekistan, the best time is winter, from December to February. During this season, the Tian Shan and Ali Mountain receive enough snow to offer good skiing conditions. The country has several airports, but if you're coming from Europe like me, you'll have to settle for one international airport, Tashkent. During the tourist season, Samarkand's airport sometimes becomes an international hub, welcoming flights from some countries. Keep this in mind when choosing the best time for your trip to avoid having to shuttle to and from Tashkent, which remains quite out of the way city. In Uzbekistan, the currency is the soom. Banknotes are richly decorated with monuments of the country, all in bright colors. Denomination range from 100 sooms to 200,000 sooms, so it's best to carry small denominations like 1,000 to 5,000 sooms. This will give you a nice stack of cash, but don't be surprised if this big wad barely amounts to a few euros. Very important, carry cash. Although some places accept bank cards, it's best to avoid unnecessary risk. You can exchange your money for sooms directly at the airport. But know that some currency exchange offices are quite rare, so a little tip, bring euros or dollars. We arrived with Swiss francs and struggled to convert them, eventually finding a bank in Tashkent. In Bukhara, we found a place that accepted Swiss francs, but the exchange rates were really bad and they were very reluctant to take them. So, to avoid complications, bring cash in the most common currency. To stay connected and independent, don't leave the airport without getting a local SIM card. The 4G is excellent and the coverage is very good everywhere. There are packages with several gigabytes, so you'll easily find one that will cover your whole stay. Personally, I went with UCell and was very satisfied with the service. The tourist cities, though captivating, are quite small, and you can quickly cover them if you stay in just one region of the country. If, like me, you're coming from far away, you'll probably want to stay at least a week, so you'll need to travel from one region to another. For this, you have several options. You can rent a car directly at the airport. It's likely the most flexible option and it might seem appealing, especially with the fuel prices there, which are around 90 cents per liter. It's not as cheap as in Kazakhstan or Turkmenistan, but it's still interesting, especially if you're from a Western country where a liter often costs more than double. Car rental costs around 200 euros per week. However, be careful, as the cheapest cars are often already taken if you arrive late in the evening. And at the airport there's only one rental agency, so the selection can be limited. But it's open 24/7. You'll also need to leave a deposit. Unfortunately, I've heard negative feedbacks about car rental agencies with reports of abuses and ongoing disputes with some travelers. That's why we avoided this option. Avoid it too if you plan to depart from a different airport for obvious reasons. For me, the best options remain the high-speed train. The high-speed train in Uzbekistan, called Afrosiyog, is a pleasant surprise for travelers. Only Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan have such a railway network among Central Asian countries. This train connects the main cities of the country like Tashkent, Samarkand and Bukhara at speeds of up to 250 km per hour. It's a modern and comfortable and much faster transportation option than others, especially for long distance. In terms of comfort, it's equipped with air conditioning, comfortable seats and even power outlets, making it an excellent choice for traveling in good conditions. As for prices, it's also very affordable. For about 20 euros, you can cross the country in just a few hours, saving a lot of time. Here are the main connections. Tashkent to Samarkand, 2 hours 24 starting at 17 euro. Tashkent to Bukhara, 4 hours 10 starting at 29 euros. Samarkand to Bukhara, 1 hour 43 starting at 13 euros. Unfortunately, there is no high-speed train yet to Khiva. Now a little tip: book your train journeys well in advance. I won't lie to you, the website could be a bit more attractive in terms of design and ergonomics, but it does the job. You can buy your tickets from abroad with your international bank card. And the best part, the tickets are fully refundable, so no risk at all, but do it well in advance. The website can be temperamental, it freezes a little or a lot, but with a little patience you'll get your ticket, and honestly, it's worth it. The train is top-notch, comfortable, and most importantly, you avoid any hassle. Now, if you're the type to do everything at the last minute, don't panic. You can still try your luck or go for regular trains. However, the travel duration is a bit more important. For example, from Tashkent to Samarkand, between 3 hours and 4 hours 30 starting at 6 euros. Tashkent to Bukhara, between 6 hours and 7 hours 30 starting at 12 euros. Samarkand to Bukhara, between 2 hours 30 and 3 hours starting at 8 euros. Bukhara to Khiva, 6 hours 30 starting at 10 euros. The prices are really affordable, and even though some journeys can be a bit long depending on the train, it's still a great alternative to driving, except maybe for Khiva. The trains often appear on the same day, and the website quickly became my favorite page. I spent my time refreshing the page, ready to adjust my reservation as soon as I found a better time. You have other options like taking minibuses between cities, locally called marshrukta, hiring a driver found through various active Facebook groups, or taking a taxi between cities using the Yandex or Yango apps, which I'll talk about next. The app works very well and costs remain reasonable. Throughout Uzbekistan, I used the Yandex app, and honestly, it became my number one ally. For booking taxis, it's fantastic. You can see the prices in advance and can pay either by card or in cash. A little tip: carry lots of small bills for cash payments so you don't get caught off guard. But that's not all. Yandex is also super handy for finding routes. Whether walking or driving in the cities or between cities, you can also use it to search for an address or restaurant. Honestly, it's the app to have because Google Maps isn't very reliable there. To discover Uzbekistan, there are several itineraries suited to different types of travelers. While many routes recommend an extended stay of at least 3 weeks, which isn't always practical for everyone. Having been there, I believe there are various possible formats, either exploring the region over several trips, or, if you're coming from far away like I did, discovering multiple regions in one go. Today, I'm offering you an optimized itinerary to visit the essential sites in 2 weeks, maximizing your experience while minimizing travel time. Here's the ideal itinerary according to me. Arrive at Tashkent Airport, the capital of Uzbekistan and the country's economic center. Spend 2 days leisurely exploring the city to rest after your journey. While Tashkent isn't particularly touristy, its Soviet-era metro stations are worth a visit. To do this, just buy 1-hour metro ticket, the cheapest I've ever seen, at 1,700 soms, about 12 euro cents, and complete a tour of the 2 metro lines in the city. Some stations are more impressive than others. I'll share a list of interesting stations in a video specifically about Tashkent. Although the metro and its stations show their age, they remain among the cleanest I've visited, just behind those of Copenhagen and Dubai. I recommend visiting Independence Square, Mustaklik Maidoni, the symbolic heart of the city. Then head up to the Museum of Applied Art to admire Uzbek craftsmanship treasures. I'd also mention the Kastiman complex, which includes the mosque Barakan Madrasa and the precious Quran of Usman. Don't miss Korsu Market to experience the local hustle and discover typical products. Continue with a visit to the Sailigo Bazaar for an immersion in local culture. In the evening, take a stroll in the Republic Square. If you have more time, you can visit the modern side of Tashkent, such as the new districts of Tashkent City Park and the Magic City Amusement Park. From Tashkent, you can explore the most accessible mountains, which are the Tian Shan Ranges, particularly the Beldersai sector and the Shatkal National Park. These regions offer stunning landscapes and outdoor activities. To get there, the most flexible option is to rent a car or to take a private taxi. The drive to Beldersai takes about 1 to 2 hours, around 100 kilometers, depending on the road conditions. Personally, I prefer organized excursions. Many travel agencies in Tashkent offer day or multiple day trips to the mountains, including transportations, a guide, and sometimes even meals. Once there, you can explore hiking trails in the Tian Shan Mountains. Shatkal National Parks offers routes suitable for different skill levels. In winter, the Beldersai ski resort becomes a popular spot for skiing and snowboarding. During the warmer months, you can relax by Lake Sharbak, located near the mountains, offering water activities and scenic landscapes. Next, I suggest visiting Samarkand. If you only visit one city in Uzbekistan, this is the one you can't miss. It's the gem of the Silk Road, and you can feel it as soon as you step foot in the city. You'll be dazzled by Registan Square, with its 3 magnificent madrasa and colorful mosaics. Don't miss the Mausoleum of Tamerlane and the Bibi Kanim Mosque, which are truly impressive. Samarkand has an incredible history. As the former capital of the Timurid Empire under Tamerlane, it was a cultural and commercial center. Today, it's still a vibrant place with lively markets where you can discover local crafts, spices, shepans, which are a type of kimonos, Suzani, and more. You should plan 4 days to visit this city. Don't miss my detailed video about Samarkand for my favorite addresses, hotels, and restaurants. Next, head to Bukhara. This enchanting city promises a journey back in time. Compared to Samarkand, Bukhara has retained its authenticity, and you'll quickly realize you're on the edge of the desert, especially in the Old Town, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. You'll be immediately charmed by picturesque alleys and magnificent historic buildings. I recommend dedicating 3 days to this city in your itinerary. Don't forget to book your place at the folklore show held at the Nadir Divan Begi Madrasa. Don't miss my detailed video about Bukhara for my favorite addresses, hotels and spots. End your trip in Khiva. You can visit it in a day from Bukhara for those who are up for it, but I recommend planning 3 days there. Dedicate 1 day to visiting Nukus and another day for an excursion into the surrounding deserts. In Khiva, don't miss the stunning Ikan Kala Fortress, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. With its impressive walls and iconic minaret like Islam Koga. Explore the Tashkent Palace, a masterpiece of Uzbek architecture, where every room is adorned with refined details. Wander through traditional souks to discover local crafts, from colorful carpets to unique pottery. And your visit with the Music Museum, which offers a fascinating insight into Uzbek culture through its instruments and performances, and enjoy breathtaking views from the top of the minarets to capture the beauty of its historic city. Then, head to Nukus, the capital of Karakalpakstan, an autonomous region in western Uzbekistan. It's a city with a subtle charm that offers a deep immersion into local culture and history. Why visit Nukus? First, for its state art museum, which is a true gem. It houses a unique collection of Russian avant-garde art that you won't find anywhere else, and it's really worth a visit. Plus, Nukus is the ideal starting point for exploring the Kizilkum Desert and the surroundings of Aral Sea. The latter was one of the largest lakes in the world, has now almost disappeared due to the major environmental disaster. The situation is dramatic. The lake has lost over 90% of its volume, leading to a significant ecological and humanitarian crisis. Visiting these regions allow you to grasp the magnitude of this disaster and see firsthand its impact on the environment and the local communities. Finally, take a direct flight or a night train back to Samarkand or Tashkent. If you're still here, a big thank you for sticking around until the end. I must admit, this is my very first video and you could say the format is still a bit raw, but I'm learning and I really appreciate your feedback. Feel free to share your comments and suggestions so I can improve. I also plan to create videos about other cities and countries that I've visited, so stay tuned. And don't forget to check out the description for useful links and special mentions. If you enjoyed this video, a like and a subscription would be appreciated. So, all that's left for me to say is, grab your passports, ready, travel!